Hi everyone, and welcome. I'm a mom with ADHD, and if you're here, I'm assuming you also have ADHD. Today I'm going to talk about how to remember to do all the things on your to-do list. This is obviously a major challenge for many people with ADHD, just remembering to do the things or remembering what the things are that you're supposed to do. In fact, this video is coming to you from my to-do list today, where I was supposed to make 3 appointments. I was calling the doctor, I was calling another doctor, and I needed to call the dentist. And I called the first doctor, made that appointment, great. Called the second doctor, and they weren't booking yet. They had a long wait list, and I was supposed to call back at a certain time, so that's fine. And then I went to call the third, or I was pretty sure there was a third one I needed to call, but I couldn't remember. And it must have been something that I had already taken care of, I decided. And so I went on with my day. And it was only, of course, as I was making supper later tonight that I realized, oh right, I was supposed to call the dentist. So that's on my to-do list for tomorrow now. The funny thing is that I didn't actually follow my own usual strategies for keeping track of my to-do list, and that was part of why I forgot what I needed to do. So, how to remember what you need to do, both on a daily basis and on an ongoing weekly basis, or even longer term than that. I have a few strategies that I use to help myself remember, and maybe some of these you're already doing, maybe some of them you haven't thought of yet. Possibly some of these you'll find useful or would be an easy habit for you to pick up and would help you with your own memory tasks. Your mileage may vary. I should note that my own ADHD is relatively mild in the spectrum of ADHD, and so what works for me may not work for everybody with ADHD, but that's okay. We're all individuals. Maybe you'll find something in this video that will help you with your own challenges, and you can apply it to your own life and improve your own memory situation going forward. So the first tool that I use, and I use this religiously, is a wall calendar that is posted in the kitchen, because obviously as a mom especially, I hang out a lot in the kitchen. I spend a lot of time there preparing meals, preparing snacks, preparing my own food occasionally. So I am in there regularly, and I'm always walking by and seeing the calendar. And this is a key point with any memory technique. It needs to be somewhere where you're going to see it on your own in order to remind yourself of the things that are on the list. Because if you write things down but then you never look at the list, it's not going to help you. So this is my wall calendar here. It's a nice big size, so it takes up lots of space on the wall, and there's also lots of space for actually writing things down on it. And I put everything on here. I put down birthdays, I put down appointments that I need to keep. I've got every single week, I've got pizza day at school, so that I remember not to pack the kids a full lunch on that day, because if I don't have something that I can check, inevitably I will send them off to school with sandwiches or whatever. So I've got pizza days written down here. I've got play dates with friends and visits with family, anything that's going on in our lives. Spirit days at school. There's been so many times when we've forgotten to send the kids to school in their pajamas or whatever spirit day happened to be. So everything goes on here, and every night, and sometimes during the day too, but especially every night, as I am making my tea for the evening after the kids have gone to bed and I'm preparing to get into my evening routine, which involves making lunches and doing a few chores and things like that, I will check this while the kettle is boiling, and I'll stand there and just kind of stare at the calendar and go over everything to remind myself of what it is that I have coming up this week, but also what I need to do tomorrow. How many times have I only remembered that it was pizza day by looking at the calendar in the evening? So that's my first tool that I personally use for keeping track of things. A lot of people will use a similar tool to this, but just be a weekly calendar that they put on their fridge or also in the kitchen somewhere. You can get magnetic ones. They look a little bit like this. That they fill in every Sunday, let's say, or once a week. They will fill in everything that's coming up for the week from another spot where they keep track of their appointments and things, for instance, in their phone. And they'll put it into their weekly calendar that goes on the fridge, and then they have their week at a glance, which allows for a little bit more information if you've got particularly busy schedules or lots going on or specifics about things that you need to remember. The second thing I use is a to-do list, and I have 2 to-do lists that I keep updated. The first one is a ongoing to-do list that I add things to and I take things off of as I complete them and as they pop up needing to be done. And this one I keep on my phone, so I'll use the Notes app on my phone and I'll put things into here when something occurs to me. I have running a single notes file that I just always update regularly, and it has everything that's even stuff that is not on a set deadline but I would like to get to at some point, and then I can keep checking it to see what I have coming up or what I need to get done. The downside to the Notes app for me personally is that I don't check it a lot. I check it a couple of times a day, maybe if I think of it. Sometimes I don't check it at all. I know that on the front you can set it up as a widget. I don't do that. I don't check the widget screen like ever. So if it was maybe on my lock screen, you could probably download an app that would add to the lock screen, but I don't actually do that. So it does mean that sometimes if I'm not checking into the app regularly, I may temporarily forget something that I'm supposed to be getting to. But anything of urgent nature goes on the wall calendar anyway, so it's not too big of a deal. And the other to-do list that I make, or that I keep, is a daily to-do list, and this is every morning when I wake up. I go through the day in my head and I think about all the things that I need to get done, everything from my actual to-do list, and I may pull that open so that I can check it, but also stuff that may be not there, like recurring chores, like, okay, I need to make sure I get a shower in today, I need to make sure I clean the cat boxes, stuff that you wouldn't put on your to-do list. Well, I put showers on my to-do list, but not the cat boxes and stuff like that. So I'll run through those sorts of to-dos and I'll think about how much time they all take, or I can expect them to take, when I have to be anywhere, such as I have to pick up my kids from school every day. And so I'll go through all that when I wake up so that I have sort of a picture of the day in my head. It's not foolproof. I do still forget to get to things during the day, but it does help in making sure that I've sort of set up a picture of what my day needs to look like, and it helps to keep me on track when I'm starting to stray. I don't actually write this down because usually, again, my ADHD is on the mild side, and so by running through things in the morning, I can usually hold most of the to-dos in my head, but not always. Obviously, I forgot the dentist today. I should have had that written, maybe put it on a sticky note and put it on my wall calendar or something, but I didn't. Lesson learned. So having your to-do lists written down somewhere and reviewing them regularly can really help you in keeping on top of all the tasks that you have to do. When it comes to chores and remembering to do chores, there's some of them that will be obvious that don't require any memory to do, like washing the dishes. You'll remember to do that when you run out of dishes or when the stack on the counter gets up so high that you have no counter space left anymore. So there's ones like that that are not difficult, but for instance, cleaning the kitty litter. Because the cat box is out of sight, it's also usually out of mind for me. And in order to remember to do that one on a regular basis, I have to use what I've seen called as habit stacking, where you attach your chore or the thing that you need to do that is a recurring thing to something else in your daily schedule that happens at a regular time every day that you can use as a trigger to cause you to remember to do the second thing. So in the case of the cat boxes, I go down and do that immediately after I've finished packing the kids' lunch for the next day, for the school days. And on the weekends, when I'm not packing kids' lunches, I do it when I would be packing the kids' lunches instead. The packing of the kids' lunches itself is habit stacked onto when my husband goes to bed. And he goes to bed at a predictable time every night. It's pretty much the same time. And so when he goes to bed, I go into the kitchen and I get started on my chores, my evening chores. We go to bed at different times because he's more of an early bird and I'm a night owl, and so our schedules are a little bit different that way. But it works out well for me because I can use that as one of my triggers to remind me to do certain chores. And so every day at the same time, my husband goes to bed, I move into the kitchen, I get the lunches packed, I do the cat boxes, I have a exercise routine I do at the same period there for 20 minutes, and then I can carry on with whatever other tasks I have planned for the evening, such as recording YouTube videos or whatever other work that I might have planned. Another tool that I use sometimes, although irregularly, is alarms on my phone. This is one that I tend to use when my kids have asked me for something in the evening. I'm supposed to be taking care of something and I've promised it at bedtime. Oh yes, I will get that done for you. It will be ready for... Oh, that reminds me, I've got to pack something for my daughter. Give me 1 second while I write this down. Isn't that funny that I should remember that just there? I'll take care of that when I'm done with this video. What was I talking about? Alarms. So I set an alarm on my phone to remind me in a couple of hours when I'm in the kitchen packing their lunches and doing whatever that yes, I need to take care of this other thing that I had promised them at bedtime and that I have inevitably forgotten by the time I am at a point in my evening where I can take care of the thing. And the alarm will go off and it will remind me, and I've got whatever the information was set into the alarm. This is also useful to me too when I have something I need to do later and I am prone to falling into a hyperfocus and totally losing track of time and only belatedly realizing, oh shoot, I was supposed to do that thing that I didn't get done. If I am about to sit down and start something where I think there's a chance that I might get into a hyperfocus, I'll set an alarm just to remind myself I need to go do that. I also have a couple of recurring alarms set on my phone for things that happen regularly during the day that I don't always forget, but it's a way to keep myself on track during the day and not lose track of the hours as I'm working on things, because I'm prone to time getting away from me, as I'm sure we all are. So an example of that might be the time to pack up and go out to get my kids. It happens at the same time every school day, and so I've got an alarm set on my phone for every school day for that time of the day, just to remind me. And maybe I'm already in the kitchen getting a coffee to take with me on the road or whatever when the alarm goes off. But if I'm not, then it's already set and I don't have to think about it, and it will jog my memory. Oh right, time to pack things up, go off to get the kids. And the final tool that I thought of but I don't actually use myself is Alexa or other virtual assistants like that. I have tried using Siri on my phone and I find her to just not be terribly smart. And I'll ask her to do things and she'll say, I don't know how to help you with that. Maybe there are apps that work well with her that I just haven't found, and she could be a useful tool in that regard. I don't know. I haven't pursued that too much because it's not really an area that I'm too interested in. But I know a lot of people do actually use virtual assistants to keep track of their to-dos and their shopping list and stuff like that. My sister, for instance, uses Alexa at her house quite regularly. She has one in the kitchen. So that could be something that works for some people who have these devices in their homes, to ask Alexa to create a to-do list or to add to your to-do list, remove from playback what items are on your to-do list as a reminder, as an alternative to keeping a to-do list on your phone, because of course with your phone you have to remember to take it out, open up the app, put things in. Maybe for some people that would feel like a lot of steps to get through to write something down, and Alexa would offer a much easier option. You just give her the command and she'll add it in. If you don't like using your phone, or you don't have a phone that you carry with you regularly, you can also go the analog way and just get a little pocketbook to go in a little notebook to go in your back pocket, and just pull that out and write your notes in it every time you have a thought that you want to remember to do, and just check your notebook on the regular to see what your to-do list is there. That would also be great for in the morning, writing out your daily to-do list, and you have it right there in a spot that's always on you. I've seen carrying notebooks has been coming a little bit back in vogue as we kind of drift away from being so dependent on our devices, that it's a way to disconnect, to detox from your screens, is to have the analog forms again. I used to do this a lot. I don't know. It's got to be 10, 15 years now ago. Something like that. Maybe 10 years. I used to carry a notebook around a lot, but my phone has obviously replaced that now. So those are my tips on how to help yourself remember the things you've got to get done in your day and in your month and in your life without taxing your ADHD too much. If you found these helpful, I hope you'll subscribe. I'll be making future videos on other challenges I face and how I personally have solved those that might be helpful to you as well. In the meantime, you could leave a comment down below with any tips or tricks that you use for helping you remember stuff. I would love to read them. I'm always open to learning new tricks that I can apply to my own life, and I'm sure there will be other people watching who would also find your suggestions useful. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!